எல்லாம் ஆதிபகவன் முதற்றே உலகு கற்றதனாலாய பயனின் கொல் வாளறிவன் நற்றாள் தொழாரெனின் பிறவி பெருங்கடல் நீந்துவர் நீந்தார் இறைவனடி சேராதார். A pleasant morning to you all. Sir, will you please, I'll give Mr. Ramesh, I'll give the name of the students and they will do that one. And if you can they do it on their own?
Ma'am, tell me the name, ma'am, quickly. I'll Arvind, avangala unmute pananum. Sri
Savitri. We will do the welcome address and Lavanya and Annapurani will give the vote of thanks. Sri Savitri. Sri Savitri, sir.
Sri Savitri, you can unmute your mic and
I invite Ms. Sri Savitri to do the welcome address of this orientation program jointly organized with Shankar IAS Academy.
Sri Savitri, you are on, please.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. A very happy morning to all. It's my pleasure to welcome our honorable chief guest, Mr. Shakti Krishnan sir, IAS faculty, correspondent and secretary, Dr. D.R. Kumaresh sir, principal Dr. N.H. Saravanan sir, IQAC coordinator Dr. T.G. Venkateshwaran sir, Dr. V.K. Vijaykumar sir, NAC coordinator, convener and organizer, Dr. M.R. Rashila ma'am, associate professor and head, postgraduate and research department of English, Professor T.K. Sivakumar sir, heads of all departments and faculty of all the departments, and my dear student community for the orientation program on civil services as a career option. There is a well saying that the harder you work for something, the greater you will feel when you achieve it. I'm pleased to share that the distinguished guest to honor us with his presence today as a chief guest of this program, who completed BTech in 2012, College of Engineering, India. In 2013, he worked as Assistant Commissioner of Income Tax, and in 2014, he worked as Sub-Collector from 2017. Currently mentoring civil services students at Shankar IAS Academy. I once again welcome you all wholeheartedly to attend this program. Thank you all.
Thank you.
We ask the principal to give the felicitation. So our principal will join
recording
within,
stopped.
Okay. Our principal will come
recording
and join.
In progress.
I request student Lavanya to introduce the chief guest. Miss Lavanya. Join Chairman.
Sir, good morning, sir.
Yes, Lavanya, can you introduce the chief guest of today's function, the orientation program?
Hi.
Yes. I would like to invite Ms. Lavanya to introduce the chief guest. Yes, proceed, Lavanya. Lavanya, proceed. Lavanya?
I think Lavanya is having some network issue.
Yes.
So I think I'll start the session and I can introduce myself, ma'am. No problem.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. You can start the session.
Right. Thank you. So first of all, a very warm good morning to everybody who's present here, the panelists, the attendees, the management, to everybody. I hope my audio and video is clear and we can proceed further with the session.
Ma'am, can you please mute your mic? Yeah. Thank you. So, Satya, sir. Sorry.
Yeah. Good morning, students. It gives me a great pleasure to be here, interacting with you, making you aware of what civil services examination is all about. So, may I know in what language I can proceed? Should it be completely in English? Should it be a mix of both? Yes, Ramesh Aditya sir. Should I just go about in English or
Sir,
mix of
please go ahead with English. No
English?
problem, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, I can see a lot of students from second year and third year. So, you have been sending me a lot of messages. So, this session, it's just going to be for 45 minutes. I'm not going to take too much of your time, only 40 minutes. So, just stop whatever else if you're doing anything else and just please pay attention to this session. If you have any doubts when I proceed with my lecture, if you have any doubts, you can just keep typing in the chat box. Okay, just keep sending your messages, at the end of which I'll address all your queries. Right. So with this made clear, let me give you an idea about what civil services is first of all about. Because if you're 20 years old, 21 years old, or 19 years old, maybe in a year or two, you will be graduating from your college and you have to make a decision about what you would like to do for the rest of your life as your career, right? So, I'm having some interference. Here are some sounds.
சார் மைக் மியூட்ல இருக்கு சார். உங்க மைக் மியூட்ல இருக்கு சார்.
சவுண்ட் எதுவும் கேட்டு
அரவிந்த் ஏதோ ஒரு சவுண்ட் கேட்டுட்டே இருக்கும்ல, அது யாருதுன்னு பாருங்க.
இல்ல சார், அவர் மைக் மியூட்ல இருக்கு சொன்னேன் சார், வேற ஒன்றும் இல்ல.
இல்ல, வேற ஏதோ சவுண்ட் வந்துட்டு இருக்கு.
இல்லையா சார்?
பேர்டோட சவுண்ட் வர மாதிரி இருக்கு.
இல்லையா சார், நம்ம சைடுல இருந்து இல்ல சார்.
சரி, ஓகே. So, after you graduate, you have a lot of career options, right? You can get into a private company, you can start your own business, you can get into academics, you can do higher studies further. So there are just n number of opportunities that lie ahead of you once you graduate from your college. And one such opportunity is a career in government. Okay, and when I say career in government, what I mean is a career in the topmost levels of government. Okay, I'm asking you to dream big. I'm asking you to aspire for something which people consider as unachievable, but it is perfectly achievable. Okay, I don't want you to think about becoming a sub-inspector or becoming a tahsildar or becoming block development officer. No, all I am thinking about is to put you in such positions where you can really decide for the well-being of your countrymen. Okay, where you can go to certain levels of decision making, from where you can actually impact the lives of this 100 crore people of India. And believe me, there is a position for doing that. Either you can contest elections, you can become prime minister or a chief minister, and then you do good things for your countrymen. That's one way of doing it. That is choosing a career in politics, which I don't think there are practical difficulties, challenges of becoming a politician and serving people. But the next best way of taking care of the needs of so much of poor people in this world, taking care of the needs of tribals, of scheduled caste people, taking care of the downtrodden people of this country, the next best opportunity that you have is to become a civil servant, is to become an IAS officer. Okay, you can, maybe at this point of time in your life, you may not have had much or many interactions with the government, so you would not be able to perceive the connect that you have with the government. Even though you may not be able to perceive, the reality is that government keeps on interacting with you on a daily basis. Okay, all the services that you get in your life, the road transportation system, the drinking water, electricity connection, treatment that you get for COVID-19. I don't think all of us will be able to afford 10 lakhs, 15 lakhs rupees of treatment in private hospital. We have to go to government hospital and get ourselves treated. So in all such cases, the role of government is very, very important in our daily lives, whether you realize it or not. So if there is, see, you may get a career, you may choose for a career in Tata or Reliance or Wipro or Microsoft. So your scope of interaction, your impact that you create may not be as large and significant as you can create being a part of the government. Okay. So a government as an organization, every organization needs to have both brain as well as your hands and legs, right? It is just like a human body. The government organization also has a brain. It has a lot of legs and hands, limbs of the government, right? So who are those limbs of the government? The lower level stuff. You have the police inspector, and you have the medical superintendent of a district hospital, right? They're all your lower level stuff. But who are the brains of this government? The brains of the government are the ones who are able to think how should the government act in the next few months, next few years. The brains of the government are the one who decide how this limbs must work in the society, right? The real decision making center is what I would call as the brain of the government. And the brain of the government is basically some 3,000, 4,000 IAS officers who are sitting in different capacities in different positions all across India. So to become the brain of this government, to decide what is good for this country, to decide about government policies, to make schemes for the welfare of a large number of people, you should be the brain of the government and not the hands and limbs and legs of the government. How do you become this brain of this government? It is by writing a single examination. The name of this examination is called as Civil Services Examination. Okay, one exam conducted every year, yearly once it is conducted. And if you clear that examination, you can get into very high level positions in the government service. What do I mean by the high levels? You have different services: Indian Administrative Service, Indian Police Service, Indian Revenue Service, Indian Audit and Account Service, Indian Trade Service, Indian Law, Corporate Law Services. There are around 15 to 18 different services to which you can get into just by clearing this one single exam called as Civil Services Examination. Right? So, to appear in this exam, is there any eligibility, sir? Yes, there is. You should be more than 21 years of age. So, the minute you clear 21 years of age, you become eligible to appear in the Civil Service Examination. And depending upon your category, depending upon your community to which you belong to, if you're a general category student, you have a maximum of 6 different attempts. So, you can basically start giving your examination when you're 21 years old. From then, you have 6 attempts. You can continuously keep giving 6 attempts until you make it to the service. If you belong to the OBC category, you have a total of 9 different attempts. Okay. You can start from 21, keep giving until your 9 attempts are exhausted. For scheduled caste and scheduled tribe candidates, there is no limit on the number of attempts, but there is a limit on your maximum age limit. The maximum age limit is 37 years old. So if you're a SC/ST candidate, you can start giving your examination when you cross 21 years. You can keep on giving attempt every year after year until you are 37 years old. That is, you have a maximum of 16 different attempts. So government gives you, so this examination is actually conducted by a central government organization called as Union Public Services Commission. Okay, UPSC. UPSC conducts an examination called a Civil Services Examination. Okay. So every year there are around 800 to 900 vacancies. The number of manpower, the number of Class A officers who are required every year, fresh entrants who are required, is around 800 to 900 vacancies. It is for this 900 vacancies, roughly around 6 to 8 lakh people will apply for this examination. Okay, 6 to 8 lakh people apply just to get filled in this 800 to 900 vacancies. So that indicates, that shows the size of this competition. Okay, so but is it really that difficult, sir? Out of 6 to 8 lakh people who apply for this exam, only 800 to 900 people make it to the service. So it seems to be a very difficult exam. Is that so? The reality is not that. Out of 8 lakh applications that are received every year, half of them will not even come on the day of the examination. They will not even be sitting on the day of the examination. Okay, so around 4 to 5 lakh people alone will be even appearing on the day of your prelims. And even out of that 4 to 5 lakhs, how many of them are seriously preparing for UPSC? If you take that count, it will be less than 2 lakh people. Less than 2 lakh people are the ones who are seriously preparing for this examination, who seriously want to become an IAS or an IPS officer. And out of 2 lakh people, I would say around 800 to 900 vacancies get filled. So let me walk you through the different phases of this examination. As I told you, this examination is conducted yearly once. But this examination has 3 phases to it. The first phase is called as preliminary exam. Second phase is called as main. Third phase is called as personality test. If you want to become an IAS officer successfully, you have to clear all the 3 phases. So let's say I clear prelims, but I fail in mains. So what will happen, sir? One attempt is over. Means that you have to restart giving your examination again, starting from prelims. Okay. So a candidate who clears all the 3 phases in one go will be awarded a service at the end of 1 year, right? So let's say you are in 3rd year of your college. Maybe you start your preparation right now. You have 1 more year to completely prepare for this exam. By the year 2022, you will give your preliminary exam. The prelims is the first step. Prelims is usually conducted by the month of May or June. Okay. Once you clear prelims, the next phase is main examination, which will be conducted by the month of October or November. And you have to write mains examination. So if you clear mains, you will be invited to attend the personality test. Personality test will be conducted in Delhi in UPSC building. So you will be interviewed by a group of 5 people, 5 eminent people in different walks of life. So one of them might be the vice chancellor of a very reputed university. Another person might be a retired IAS officer. The third person might be some expert in a particular field. So you have 5 eminent persons who will be interviewing you, who will be conducting a personality test. They would want to assess what kind of a person you are. So that is the third phase. So let's say you clear the third phase also. Finally, you end up having a service. Okay. So when you see prelims, you have a rough competition of 2 lakh people, the serious competitors. Once they write prelims, how many of them make it to the mains? Around 15,000. Okay, out of 2 lakhs, 15,000 of them make it to the mains phase. So you write mains exam. Out of the 15,000, how many of them make it to the personality test? Around 2,000 to 2,500. So the last phase, personality test, has 2,500 people giving their PTs. And after that, around 800 people make it to the service list. So this is the size and scale of the competition which you should be aware of before you enter into this competitive race. Okay. So how am I supposed to be preparing for this examination? What all skills do I need to develop to clear this examination successfully? I would say this examination is such a simple, easy exam. And why do I say that? All you're going to read are school textbooks. Okay, you go and talk to anybody who has cracked this examination, ask them what books did you read. They will tell you this as a common answer. I read NCRT textbooks. What is this NCRT textbooks? NCRT textbooks are books published by the union, by the central government for the purpose of CBSE school students. For those who are preparing based on CBSE pattern, it is for them. The school books have been published by an authority called as NCERT, National Council for Education, Research and Training. Very inexpensive books for different subjects you can get on the internet. You can even get in your bookshops also. I hope you are aware of CBSE textbooks. They're called as NCERT textbooks. Just like how we studied our own school syllabus in our own school board, state board. Similarly, for central government CBSE school students, we have the NCERT books. So basically, even though you have completed your college, all that you're going to read from, all that you're going to prepare from is basically from your school textbooks. So is it going to be really tough? No, not at all. But still, why is that this examination is considered to be very tough exam, sir? It's not about what you read, but how else you prepare yourself is what decides whether you clear in this examination or not. Okay, so there are 3 things that you'll have to keep doing regularly. One is you have to continuously keep following the current. You have to be constantly in touch with whatever is happening around you, which is something that you can read from Hindu newspaper, right? So if farmers are protesting on the roads in Delhi, you should be knowing why are they protesting. There was a lot of protest. There was a lot of criticism against a lot of corporate companies like Twitter, WhatsApp, they were all very angry at the government in the last 1 month. Why is that so? What happened? What did the government do to make Twitter and WhatsApp get angry at the government? Right? There is something that the government came up with, which is called as the IT rules, information technology rules. So because of that, these companies were affected. So you should be knowing about it. Okay. So and if a particular earthquake or a sudden landslide happens in Himalayas, okay, it often happens. Landslides, flash floods. Suddenly it happens in Himalayas, and an entire village is washed out. Such kind of disasters happen. You should be aware of that. Why? You should know what is the reason for those disasters. It's because these are mountainous regions. So we human beings have started going on travel tours. So because of which a lot of hotels and resorts have come up in those mountains. And because of that, the natural ecosystem is getting affected, and hence that leads to a lot of disasters. So whatever is happening around you, you must always be constantly in touch with your external surroundings. That's a very important requirement for cracking this examination. Okay. UPSC expects you to be somebody who is curious and who is very interested to know about the external world. The best way to do that is to keep reading Hindu newspaper on a daily basis. Every single day you must read Hindu paper, and you don't have to read the all the pages of the Hindu paper is not necessary to be read. There are only select pages. The first page, there are select pages. I don't want to go into what are those pages. Maybe if you have a doubt, once you start reading paper, at that time we can clarify it for you. So there are some 6 to 7 pages alone in the entire Hindu that you are supposed to be reading every single day. It's not necessary that you should start from the first page till the last page. Each and every line must be read. No, only 6 to 7 pages every single day. So that's number one. Keep yourself aware of what is happening around. Next, develop a very good reading, writing, speaking skills, which is very, very, very important, not just for this examination, but to succeed in your life as well. Whatever may be the career path you choose, whatever may be the company that you may get placed in, it may be government, or it may be private sector, it may be your own business, whatever it could be, you require these 3 skills to be competitive, to remain ahead of others in your field. Okay. So how do I develop good reading, writing, and speaking skills, sir? Which is very important, because in prelims your reading skills are tested, in mains your writing skills are tested, in personality test your speaking skills are tested. Okay, I'll tell you how it is done. In prelims you have 2 papers that you have to appear. Okay, the first paper is called as general studies paper. Second paper is called as civil services aptitude test. Let me first talk about the second paper, civil services aptitude test. In this paper, 50% of the questions that are asked in civil service aptitude tests, first of all, preliminary examination is conducted in a single day. It's a 1-day examination. Okay, you go. Usually it is conducted on a Sunday of the last Sunday of the month. That is when it is conducted. So morning 9:30 to 11:30 you will have one paper. Afternoon 2:30 to 4:30 you will have the second paper. So there are 2 papers in prelims. As I told you, it's called as general studies, and the other paper is called as CSAT. So first let me talk about this second paper called as CSAT paper. In CSAT, 50% of the questions of CSAT paper, they are asked from one single area, which is called as reading comprehension. Okay, what is reading comprehension? For example, see, I have this textbook, right? I have to read from here till here. I'll be just given this passage. I have to read that entire passage. Maybe within 1 minute, I have to read that entire passage. I have to understand what is the content behind this passage, content in this passage. What is the theme which is conveyed in this passage? I have to understand the entire passage in a single minute of reading. And there will be some 2 or 3 questions that will follow the passage. The 3 questions will be based on what you are able to understand from that passage. So that is what is called as reading comprehension. So 50% of your questions in CSAT paper is only from this area called as reading comprehension. And let me tell you, how do you prepare for this reading comprehension part? Very simple. Just read Hindu paper yourself. Okay, it will take at least 2 hours every single day, minimum 2 hours of reading Hindu paper, even if you read that 6 or 7 pages that I referred to. Okay, leave alone reading the entire Hindu paper cover to cover. Even if you were to read 6 to 7 pages properly every day, that will take you minimum 2 hours of your daily time. That is what indicates that you are reading paper properly. So when you read Hindu paper, I'm sure some of you have already started getting into the habit of reading newspapers. But for others, at least if you have an interest in civil services, it may not even be civil service exam, it may even be smaller level exam. Whatever it is, start reading Hindu newspaper. It gives you a lot of awareness about the world. Okay, so when you read Hindu newspaper, slowly first it will be very very difficult to read, especially the two middle pages of Hindu, which are called as the editorial pages. It will be very very challenging. It requires good language skills, but the difficulty, the challenge is only for the first 1 or 2 months. So once you start getting used to the language of Hindu paper, your reading speed will also gradually increase. It is by gradually increasing your reading ability, by understanding ability from whatever you read, that is the way you can actually face these questions in CSAT paper. So number one, develop your reading ability. The best way to do it is by keeping reading Hindu paper regularly. Okay. So reading ability develops as well as your awareness about the outside world. This awareness is what will be tested in your general studies paper. I told you, in prelims you have two papers, GS and CSAT. CSAT paper tests your reading ability, your numerical skills, your probability and ratio, proportions, all those kind of questions will also be there in CSAT paper. That is your aptitude paper. Whereas the first paper is called as general studies paper. General studies paper basically tests your awareness about the world, about India. What are the problems in India? Okay. For that, you will have to, for general studies paper, you will have to prepare for some 5 to 6 different subjects you will have to prepare. What are those subjects? What are the books that you'll have to refer to? All that will be shared by Mr. Ramesh Aditya. He'll be sharing a link, okay, in your chat box. Just click that link. It's a link to Shankar IAS Academy's online portal. The name of the academy portal is IAS Parliament. Okay, just go to the website. You will have a section called as beginners column. Just go through that beginners column. You will understand how to start your preparation. What are the books that you will have to refer? So all your basic doubts about this preparation will be clarified once you read this beginners column. Okay. So make use of this portal. So in general studies paper, you have to prepare a variety of subjects. There are some 5 to 6 main subjects. What are they? One is about Indian political setup, which is called as a study about Indian constitution. There's a subject called as Indian polity, which studies about Indian constitutional setup. Who is a prime minister? Who is a president? Who is a chief minister? What is the relationship between central government and state government? Who is a district collector? So you study about this political structure. That's one subject called as Indian polity. The other subjects that you'll be studying is about Indian history. You have to know about our past so as to understand what problems we have had in our past. Today, in this present society, caste system is a very big problem. Casteism is a very major problem in this modern society. It is casteism which is preventing Indians from becoming one with each other. It's creating a lot of divide between people, caste, religion, community, all such kind of things. So you should understand how did this problem of casteism start in India? From where did it start? This caste system dividing people into 4 different varnas and different groups, caste groups. Where did it all start? Why is it continuing even in this modern world? Okay, to understand that, you have to know about our past. To understand why India does not allow foreign investments in space sector. Foreign companies can come and invest their mining. They can come and invest in various startups, but they cannot invest in space sector. They cannot invest in production of nuclear energy. Why? Why is it so? There is a reason, historical reason behind all these things. It is to understand history. We have to study certain parts of Indian history. The history that starts from 2500 BC till modern day. So that's a sizable amount of reading that you'll have to do to understand about Indian history. That's the second subject that you have to prepare. Then you have other subjects like Indian geography. You should know why Tamil Nadu is very developed compared to Odisha. There is a geographical reason behind it. Odisha is completely mountainous. Lot of mountain areas, lot of tribal sections live there. So because of which it's not easy to develop those areas. The education levels of tribals are already low, and the terrain is also not very friendly enough to invest and construct a lot of industries. But whereas Tamil Nadu, it's coastal and a lot of we are not that mountainous like Jharkhand or Odisha, correct? So geography plays a role in the development of the society. So we have to understand about the subject called as geography. So similarly, we have subjects like Indian economy, we have subjects like environment, science, and technology in our daily lives. So these are the different subjects, these are the areas that you will prepare for when it comes to your general studies paper of your prelims. Okay. So as I told you in prelims, you have two papers, GS and CSAT. And both these papers have negative marks. If you get an answer correct, you get positive plus 2 marks. If you go wrong with an answer, one third of the marks will be deducted. That is 0.66 marks will be deducted for every wrong answer of these papers. Okay. So you should be careful that you do not make any blind attempts just for thinking that I can be lucky, and you cannot go about and attempt a question if you don't know about it, know the answer. So this is the general scheme of preliminary exam. So as you can see, prelims is a objective test. What do you mean by objective test? You will have a question. You will have 4 different options. So A, B, C, D. You have to just shade the correct answer. OMR sheet will be given and you have to shade the correct answer. That's all. Very simple exam, prelims, objective test. Once you clear prelims, the next stage is mains examination, right? So around 15,000 people to 18,000 people write mains every year. Mains is a descriptive paper. That is, it is not a one-word answer where you just go and shade. Mains is completely written examination. I told you prelims is only 1 day exam, whereas mains is an examination that is conducted over a period of 10 days. Okay, 10 days, you have to write 9 different papers. That is the scheme of main examination. So in mains examination, what are the subjects that I have to prepare? Subjects that you have prepared for your prelims. But the way of answering the question is, you don't have to prepare anything new, completely strange subjects or anything, but you have to prepare the same subjects like what you prepare for prelims. But only difference is that in prelims, it is just one word. Here you have to write answers after answers after answers. Let me give you an idea about how much answers you have to write. I told you have to write 9 papers, right? 9 papers within 10 days. Every day you will be writing two papers. So when you write 2 papers, then you will have 1 day break. Then you'll have 2 papers to write. The next day will be off. So this is how the examination will be conducted. You have to write around 50 pages within 3 hours of time. You will be given a booklet, 50 pages of booklet. Each page must have at least 100 words. That is, you have to write around 5,000 words within a short span of time of 180 minutes. So you need to have very good writing ability, writing speed. How can I develop my writing ability, sir? And again, what I would suggest for that is, so as you can see, in prelims, it's a reading ability that will be tested. In mains, it is your writing ability that will be tested. So what can you do to improve your writing ability? You take your Hindu paper, you read your Hindu paper every day. So slowly your reading skills will improve. At the same time, what I would suggest is have a long size notebook, have a 180 pages long size notebook. So whatever you read from your Hindu paper, let's say you read one article in Hindu paper. So every day make it a daily habit to write for 1 page, not more than, just write 1 page. What will I write, sir? Whatever you read from Hindu paper, just read that entire article, understand it in your own words, try to make sense of it, keep it in your mind, and try to write it in your own words for 1 page. This is the essential writing practice that you must keep doing so as to write good answers in your mains examination. If you start writing from Hindu editorials, from Hindu paper articles, you start writing one page every day, your writing ability, your writing speed will tremendously improve. So once you go and sit in your mains examination, you start writing, automatically writing just flows. Okay. So having a very good writing skill is a very important necessity, trait for this, for clearing this mains examination as well. So what books do I have to prepare for this? The same books, the same NCERT books that you prepare for your prelims, nothing more. The only difference is that in mains examination, you have to choose what is called as an optional subject. Okay, there are these general subjects like polity, economy, history, geography. These all will be there. In addition to that, you should also choose one subject that is called as an optional paper. What do I mean by optional paper? That is, for example, you may be a student of sociology. You may be doing sociology in your college. So what you can do is you can choose sociology as your optional subject. You have to appear in 2 papers of one optional subject called as sociology. 2 papers will have to be written. Okay. So some of you might be having commerce and accountancy as your graduation subject. We do have an optional subject called as commerce and accountancy. For example, I was an engineer in my college days, but I chose history as my optional subject. Why? Because I like history. So irrespective of whatever might be your discipline subject of graduation, you can choose whatever subject you feel like as your optional subject to prepare for this examination. Okay, that is what is called as optional subject. That alone has to be prepared separately apart from your general studies. So if you prepare a particular discipline which is one of the subject that is accepted as an optional subject in UPSC exam, well and good. There is no separate preparation that you have to do. For example, in college you are studying in BSc chemistry. If that is the case, chemistry is an optional subject. You don't have to go and prepare sociology or public administration or anything new. You already have spent 3-4 years studying a particular subject in your college. Just make use of that. Come and do very well in this optional paper. So in mains, the general scheme of this exam is you have general studies papers, very descriptive written papers, and also you have one subject that is called as an optional subject also. So you master all these things within a year or 1.5 years or 2 years. After, so you will be definitely able to write good answers in your mains exam. The only skill that you should be careful to develop as a daily habit is a good writing skill. And I have suggested to you to improve your writing ability. Take your Hindu paper, read an article without seeing whichever article, one article that you feel is very interesting, try to write it in your own words. It develops your skill of writing slowly. Okay. So with this, you will be able to perform very well in your mains exam. Once your mains is over, so I told you 15,000 people will be appearing in mains. So once you give your mains exam, mains will be usually conducted by the month of October or November. Prelims by May or June. 3 months from then, you will have October or November, you will have your mains exam. Once you're done with the mains examination, it will take at least 3 months for your answer sheets to be evaluated. By the month of March or February or March, your results will be out, whether you have qualified for personality test or not. If you qualify for personality test, there is a last phase. You have almost made it to the service list. Because look at the ratio. 2,000 people will be appearing in personality test, out of which 800 people will be given a service. So 1/3 of those who go to the personality test will be assured of a service. Every third person gets a service, right? And I would say personality test is the easiest of all the 3 phases because you don't have to prepare anything for personality test. Whatever you have prepared earlier, you are just able to express that very well. 5 people will be interviewing you. They will ask you questions from different areas. From where are you from? Which college you have studied from? Why did you choose chemistry as your subject of graduation in your college? So tell me the reason why organic chemistry is called as organic chemistry, even though organic compounds can be synthesized in a laboratory itself. So such kind of questions, just to test whether you have understood what you have studied in the last 3 years. It's very simple process. For example, I am from Coimbatore. Okay, they ask me questions about Coimbatore, about why these industries are very famous in Coimbatore. So tell me about your school days. It's a very casual, friendly interaction that happens for 25 to 30 minutes. It's not like how it is portrayed outside in the world. Like they will ask you questions like, how many steps did you climb when you come to my interview chamber? Did you see what are the plants that were outside this room? It's all unnecessary myths and rumors. UPSC doesn't ask like that. They only ask you about yourself. They want to know something more about you. They want to know what do you do in your free time? What are your hobbies? Do you have the habit of reading books or not? What books have you read in the past? What is your opinion on this problem that is happening in Pakistan? So they just want to know if you can speak out your mind very well. If you are able to converse very naturally with them, if you are able to converse without shyness, that is all that the UPSC is looking for in a candidate. Because tomorrow, if you're going to become a collector or a police superintendent of a district, you should be very forthcoming. You should be able to speak well. These are some basic skills that will be tested, right? The skill of good reading, the skill of writing good content, speaking very well without any inhibitions. It is all these skills which are necessary for you to successfully perform your role as a civil servant. That is exactly what gets tested by these three different processes: prelims, mains, and personality test. Okay. So I think I have just touched and given you an overview about the three different phases of this examination. So if you have any doubts, any queries, you can raise your questions and I'll be able to answer.
Dear students, please ask your questions in the Q&A box so that we can get your answers, or I'll give you another opportunity where if you have any questions, please do a hand raise.
Yeah, they have raised their hands. 3 of them have raised. I think we can take their questions. Many of them have raised their hands.
GR Venkatesh, you can ask the question. I have unmuted you. Can you please unmute your mic and ask the question? Okay. Next, Nandini, you can unmute your mic. Naka Nandini. Okay, you're not there. Ashwin Kumar. Ashwin Kumar, I have unmuted you. You can unmute your mic and ask the question. Ashwin Kumar. Okay, students, you can ask the questions in the chat box also or in the Q&A box.
Is polity a good optional subject? We don't have an optional subject called as polity, but we have an optional subject called as political science, which is a very wonderful, interesting subject to read. You understand about why is India a democracy? Okay, what is right-wing politics? What is left-wing politics? So political science is definitely a very interesting subject. It's a very good subject. You can choose political science, not polity. Okay, English literature, my question is what kind of person we should be to clear our personality test? You should be just very simple. You should be very honest in your answers. You should not try to lie and cover up in your personality test. Don't try thinking that you can fool the members in the examination board. They're very intelligent people, right? So if you know answers, you can tell them you know the answer. If you don't know, you can just tell them I don't know, sir. And you just need to be somebody who is very rational in their approach. If you give an answer, you should have a strong reason why you say so. You cannot say, sir, Modi is not a good prime minister. Okay, so such kind of unnecessary accusations or criticisms against anybody, you should not be doing it. Right? There should be some reason why you have an opinion about something. If you feel that farm laws, the government has come up with certain laws regulating the agricultural sector, but I don't think it's a good law, sir. They will ask you, why do you have such an opinion? You should have some reasons. It is because of these 3 reasons I feel it's not in the best interest of the nation, sir. So they just want a very logical, sensible, rational person who can speak very well, who is not going to be stressed or fearful about facing 5 people. You should just be courageous. That is the only trait that they are looking for in personality test. Prelims CSAT. Okay, prelims CSAT test, what other 50% will come from except reading comprehension? Except reading comprehension, you will have mathematics based questions. That is, a 1 liter water bottle takes 45 minutes to get filled. So how much water bottles can be filled in 4 hours? So these kind of questions will be asked, numerical based questions. Okay. So the other kind of question is they will give you a picture of a square, a cube will be given. These 2 sides are portrayed they are painted in green color. So if I tilt the cube to 270 degrees, what are the different colors that I'll be able to see? So these kind of very logic based questions, which tests your ability to solve problems. Your problem solving skill gets tested in the CSAT paper. I'm giving permission to them to unmute, but I think they're not able to unmute. Something is wrong about that.
They have raised hands, but
They're not unmuted. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. Dear students, do you have any other questions? You can type it or you can ask questions directly.
Can we write mains exam in Tamil? Oh yes, you can completely write this examination in Tamil. Okay, you should just be good in one language. அது தமிழா இருக்கலாம் இல்ல இங்கிலீஷா இருக்கலாம். Okay, whichever language you write, you should be good with that language. நல்லா எழுத்துப்பிழை இல்லாம எழுத வரணும். So yes, it is your choice. You can write the complete examination in Tamil. அது மட்டும் இல்ல, இன்டர்வியூ கூட நீங்க தமிழ்லயே கொடுக்கலாம். You can completely speak your personality test in Tamil itself. So UPSC will deploy a translator. The translator will translate whatever you speak to the board members. நீங்க தமிழ்ல தான் இன்டர்வியூ கொடுக்க போறீங்க அப்படின்னா அந்த பேனல்லே கண்டிப்பா ஒரு தமிழ் மெம்பர் ஒருத்தர் இருப்பாரு. So he will take care of your answers. So this is a very good favorable examination for those people who feel, sir, I'm not very good in English. பெருசா இங்கிலீஷ்ல எனக்கு எழுத வராது. So பட் தமிழ்ல வந்து எனக்கு I feel very comfortable. ஸ்கூல் ஃபுல்லா நான் தமிழ் மீடியத்துல தான் படிச்சிருக்கேன் அப்படிங்கிற மாதிரி நினைக்கிறவங்களுக்கு வந்து UPSC gives an opportunity, an equal level playing field. Yes, you can write this exam completely in Tamil. தமிழ்ல படிக்கிறதுக்கு இன்னைக்கு வந்து அது புக்ஸும் கூட இட்ஸ் வெரி ஈஸிலி அவைலபிள். நான் படிச்ச காலத்துல பார்த்தீங்கன்னா தமிழ்ல வந்து எக்ஸாம் எழுதணும்னு நினைக்கிறவங்களுக்கு வந்து ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ப்ராப்ளமே வந்து தமிழ்ல புக்ஸ் இருக்காது. பட் இன்னைக்கு வந்து அந்த பிரச்சனை எல்லாம் எதுவும் இல்லை. You do get good books in Tamil itself for preparing for UPSC. Yes, you can write your exam. You can clear this examination just with knowledge of Tamil itself. Okay, how to take notes on Hindu paper? See, notes on Hindu paper are being, so how do you take notes? You can take notes not on the very first day of preparing for UPSC exam. You can come to the level of taking notes in newspaper only at least after 4 to 5 months of reading Hindu newspaper. It is a very gradual process. It will not happen in a single day. So notes, நல்ல notes எடுக்கணும் அப்படிங்கிறதுக்கே you should first understand how questions have been asked in the previous years. UPSC exam வந்து இப்படிதான் கேள்வி கேட்கறாங்கன்னு தெரிஞ்சாங்க அதுக்கு ஏத்த மாதிரி you will be able to find out this is what is important from the newspaper, this is not important அப்படின்னு கரெக்டா அந்த ஒரு சென்ஸ் வர்றதுக்கே வந்து you will have to keep referring to previous years question papers. But previous year question paper பார்க்கணும்னா உங்களுக்கு என்ன தெரியணும், அந்த சப்ஜெக்ட் பத்தி ஏதாவது கொஞ்சம் பேசிக்ஸ் தெரிஞ்சிருக்கும். So that is why you should first start reading these NCERT basic textbooks. பேப்பர் டெய்லியும் படிக்க ஆரம்பிங்க. டெய்லியும் இப்படி படிச்சுட்டே போனீங்கன்னா ஒரு 4-5 மாசத்துல வந்து you will come to this level where you will start identifying இது வந்து நமக்கு எக்ஸாமுக்கு தேவை, இது தேவையில்லை. பட் அந்த லெவலுக்கு போறதுக்கு it will take at least 4 to 5 months. Before that, if you make any notes from Hindu paper, it is not the correct notes because you have not even understood what is required for this exam. அது தெரியாம வந்து எதுக்கு நீங்க நோட்ஸ் எடுக்கணும். It's not a very useful thing that you will be doing the first 4-5 months. So my only recommendation if you are interested in civil service examination is first start reading newspaper. That's the first basic step. Daily 2 மணி நேரம் 3 நேரம் newspaper படிங்க. After that, start reading this basic textbooks, 10th standard books, 9th standard textbook, history book, geography book எடுத்து படிங்க. படிச்சுட்டே இருக்கும்போது parallelly you go through previous years question paper. இதெல்லாம் கேள்வி கேட்கறாங்க. ஸோ இப்படின்னா நான் வந்து இந்த பேப்பர்ல வந்து இந்த மாதிரி விஷயம் வந்திருக்கு. So I should actually make a note of that. Okay. So that is the approach to notes making. If you give interview Tamil, they may think that he is not capable of attending in English. So what? So what? English is not necessary for this examination. You just need to have a basic idea of English to qualify what is called as a language paper in your mains exam. Mains paper exam, or paper English paper. It's a very easy paper. 8th standard, 9th standard level English paper. Very basic English skills will be tested. Other clear English skills in the forum. I have so many friends who are just completely from Tamil medium and who have cleared and today they are IAS officers. Okay? And UPSC is not going to judge you saying that you don't know English. So what? Even if you don't know English, that is not a problem at all. Because, for example, I am a Tamil person. Exam clear பண்ணதுக்கு அப்புறம் I am posted as a IAS officer in Uttar Pradesh. Uttar Pradeshla to work, I don't need any knowledge of English. I only need to learn Hindi. அந்த ஹிந்தி கூட இப்போ நீங்க கத்துக்கணும் அவசியம் இல்லை. ஆஃப்டர் கிளியரிங் திஸ் எக்ஸாம் யூ வில் பி கிவன் லாட் ஆஃப் ட்ரைனிங் டு மேக் யூ லேர்ன் ஹிந்தி. ஓகே, ஸோ அதனால இங்கிலீஷ் லாங்குவேஜ் இஸ் நாட் மேண்டேட்ரி ஃபார் திஸ் எக்ஸாம். ஏதாவது ஒரு லாங்குவேஜ்ல யூ ஷுட் பி குட் எனஃப் டு ரைட் யுவர் எக்ஸாமினேஷன். Environmental science, how to study, sir? Which book? See, for environmental science, I would say the best book to study is Shankar IAS Academy's material that you will find in the market. I don't think, since I am in Shankar Academy now, that's why I'm suggesting you go and read the toppers' blogs. If one also clear you will find their blogs on the internet. Just see what book they have referred for their environment preparation. Unanimously they would have said that the Shankar Academy's environment book, because there is no better material for environment specifically other than this material. So it is even available on Flipkart or Amazon also. Online, you can even buy it online from the academy. So there's a very one single book for environmental science. You just read that, you will prepare for environment. Whether it is important to take notes for general studies while studying, it is very, very important. Note making is a very essential part of this UPSC preparation. But on the note making correcta irukkiradhukku, you should slowly understand how previous years questions have been asked. அது எப்படி கேட்டிருக்காங்கன்னு தெரிஞ்சதுக்கு அப்புறம் எடுத்தாதான் அது பேர் ஒழுங்கான நோட்ஸ். அது வரைக்கும் வந்து வாட் எவர் யூ டேக் ஃப்ரம் த நியூஸ் பேப்பர் ஆர் ஜஸ்ட் சம் ரேண்டம் ஃபேக்ட் அண்ட் டேட்டா. ரேண்டம் ஃபேக்ட் அண்ட் டேட்டா இஸ் நாட் நோட்ஸ். பட் என்ன கேட்கறாங்க, இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு கேள்வி அடுத்த வருஷம் கேட்டாங்கன்னா நான் என்னால வந்து இன்னைக்கு நான் படிச்ச பேப்பர்ல இருந்து ஏதாவது எடுத்து எழுத முடியுமா அப்படின்னு தெரிஞ்சு நீங்க எடுக்கிறீங்க பார்த்தீங்களா, அது பேர் தான் வந்து நோட்ஸ். So notes making is exactly, it's a very essential for clearing this examination. But it will take its own time to start making the correct notes. Going to academy or self-study, which will be best one, sir? You can start your self-preparation right now. Okay, if you have any doubts, should I go to academy and one doubt irundha, do your self-preparation, start reading paper, understand UPSC, and after that, if you feel support is required, because academy or modu, see, today, in fact, like internet penetration irukra alavukku, everything that will be taught in the academy is already there on the YouTube. YouTube open பண்ணீங்கனாவே நீங்க இதுல என்ன படிக்கணுமோ அதெல்லாம் கத்துக்கலாம். Apart from that, then why should I even go to the academies? Academy, to go to academy is not to get taught, it is to be coached. There's a difference between being taught and being coached. YouTube can teach you, but YouTube cannot coach you. Books can teach you, but it cannot coach you. Coaching, it involves regular tests, it involves regular assessments. Where do you stand? You have been preparing for the last 2 months, but have you been preparing in the right direction or not? By testing you properly. After testing you, finding out your weakness, correcting them, improving your speaking skills, improving your writing skills. This is overall aspect involved in coaching. This is the difference between teaching and coaching. Academy helps you, it supports you in various other ways rather than just simply giving you a lectures. It is not done in the academy. That is the difference between your 12th standard tuition center and a coaching center for IAS examination. Right? So you decide that. You start preparing, start reading from your books. புரியுறது கஷ்டமா இருக்கு சார், எனக்கு வந்து I don't know whether I'm going in the right direction or not. If you have such problems, then you take the help of coaching. Okay, instead of me giving you an answer for that, you be the judge of that. So I think we have answered almost all questions. Whether monthly magazine is important, it is not important. If you're reading Hindu paper properly, monthly magazine is not something that you'll have to study and memorize, because what is a monthly magazine? Whatever comes in Hindu, that will be explained even more in the monthly magazine. So I would say I have not read any monthly magazine or anything. Okay, because I was reading Hindu paper every single day properly. If you read paper properly, you don't need any of these extra magazines. Okay. Because the kind of questions that will be asked in UPSC civil service examination is just what comes in Hindu paper. அதுல போய் ரொம்ப டெப்தா கேட்கறது அந்த மாதிரிலாம் ஒண்ணும் கிடையாது. If you're reading paper properly, that is sufficient enough for your current affairs. No monthly magazine is required. Okay. So can we conclude the session? I think the queries have been answered.
I think we can conclude, sir. I think they have asked all the questions. Rashila ma'am, can we conclude? Rashila ma'am.
Yes, sir, we can conclude.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. You said Annapurni will be doing the vote of thanks.
Yeah.
Annapurni, are you there? You can unmute your mic and do the vote of thanks. Annapurni.
Annapurani.
Your mic is unmuted. You can do the vote of thanks.
Good afternoon, one and all who have gathered here. It's my privilege to get the opportunity to thank you all dignitaries. It's my pleasure to thank the chief guest, Mr. Satyakrishnan IAS, who gave his vital time from his hectic schedule to grace this meeting. Thank you so much, sir. A special thanks to the correspondent and secretary, Dr. B.K. Kumareswar, and I thank our beloved principal, sir, Professor N.H. Saravanan, sir, for giving permission to organize this meeting. And my heartfelt thanks to the convener and organizer and the head of the Department of English, Dr. M.R. Rashila ma'am. And then I thank the coordinator, Professor P.K. Sivakumar sir, heads of all the departments and faculty of all the departments. And I would like to thank the IQAC coordinator, Dr. T.D. Venkateshwaran and Dr. V.K. Vijaykumar, NAAC coordinator. Last but not least, I also thank my dear student community for paying your attention and learning throughout the meeting. Thank you all.
Okay, thanks, Annapurni. We have our Madurai branch head, Mr. Ganesh, online. He's our Madurai guy. Ganesh, please remove your mask. Let them see you and hear you. Satya sir.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Satya sir, for joining us this morning. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Satya, your speech was very wonderful. It's very simple, very logical. Brief data in a very minimum time. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. And I wish all the best.
Recording stopped.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Ganesh sir from Madurai. Ma'am, Rashila ma'am, Ganesh is our branch head for Madurai. Shankara IAS Academy Madurai is there for quite some time. Ganesh sir, do you want to say some?
I welcome Mr. Ganesh.
Audio is not audible, Ganesh sir. No, it is not audible. No, it's not audible, sir. It is not audible.
Hello, sir. This is audible now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay, fine. Hello, ma'am. Good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon, everyone.
Yes, sir. Please proceed. Please proceed.
Yes, we here conducting for TNPC and UPSC, and we supporting for at any time in Shankara IAS Academy Madurai. Okay.
Please continue. Yeah.
I hope that you people will aware that the location of the academy, it's very nearby near Tepakulam in Annanagar. Okay, one of our admission office in Church Road in Annanagar, then the academic office in 80 feet road of Annanagar, just in 5th floor above the Bata showroom. And for your clear information, the address and communication details will be in, contact details will be in websites also. Okay, and we will help you in all kind for the preparation of TNPC and UPSC, and you people can collect the book materials. Okay, for sales and other kind of guidance will be also provided in our institutions in Madurai branch itself. And you always welcome to our branch at any time, and you can contact us in your to our academy number. Just make note of it. I hope that, sir, can I text that?
Please text, sir. Text.
Okay.
And also say that.
Yes.
Your number.
97896 22 It's our mobile number. Then landline 0452 4255 455. Okay, you can contact to these both numbers. We will be always available. The office timing will be from 9:30 to evening 6. Even if you are willing to contact, or if you have any doubts to reach us after 6 o'clock, you can just text it or ping it. We will reach you after the time in office hours. Okay, and you can collect your book materials. Any kind of the doubts and clarifications will be clarified here regarding TNPC, UPSC, banking, or SSC coachings. And all kind of coachings are going here. The UPSC classes will be conducting through video conferencing. The TNPSC currently, due to the COVID, online classes are going. After the situation is getting back to the normal, we will conduct the offline classes too here. The same will be followed for banking, SSC, and other courses also. Okay. If you have any doubts, you can contact me and raise your questions regarding TNPSC, particularly for TNPSC, because mostly the Madurai batch students well aware of TNPSC and more prominent in doing TNPSC. Any questions?
Okay, Ganesh sir, they will contact you.
Okay.
Since you are the local man in Madurai, so they will contact you.
Okay.
Thank you so much, students. Thanks for joining us today, Ganesh sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, students, for being with us this morning. It's already 12. Thank you, Rashida ma'am, for joining us and giving us an opportunity to be speaking to your students today. And thanks to the principal, management, IQAC coordinator, and all the heads of the department of Sourashtra College. Thank you so much. Have a good day and take care of your health as well. Thank you.